What's going on YouTube? It's your boy RonnyPugs back again with another video for you guys. First off, I wanted to say thank you all for 3,000 subscribers and welcome to the 3,000 subscribers special. Like I've mentioned in previous special videos, although these numbers may seem small to other YouTubers, to me it's special and I appreciate all 3,000 of you who've shown support in my time making these videos. Needless to say, the ad definitely says 3,000 and I love each and every one of you 3,000. So today we will be going over some very old news dating back to 2008 when the MCU was just a baby, with the brief story of how Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker Spider-Man almost appeared in the MCU. Keep in mind that back in 2008, Spider-Man 3 was just released a year prior, the MCU was just 2 films deep, and most importantly, there were no indications of a reboot in place for Raimi's Spider-Man films. And the information in this video on how Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man almost appeared in the MCU comes from an MTV article written all the way back in 2008 titled Spider-Man Meets the Hulk, the crossover that almost was but wasn't. In this article, it mentions how cool it is that Marvel is cross-promoting their films with appearances from Tony Stark and Captain America featured in The Incredible Hulk. However, it turns out that appearances from both Cap and Iron Man weren't the only big-name Marvel heroes considered for the film. And in fact, Incredible Hulk director Louis Leterrier had an idea for Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker to appear during the film. Leterrier is quoted in the article basically saying that he wanted Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker to appear towards the end of the film, during the university scene when Bruce Banner meets Samuel Stern, or Mr. Blue. And although most of the scene was shot in Toronto, the location of the university in film is in New York, but what's confusing is that the Marvel Wiki credits this location as Grayburn College, with other websites claiming that this scene in question takes place at Columbia University, which furthers back to the director of the film wanting Tobey Maguire to cameo during the scene, since Columbia University is featured in all 3 Raimi Spider-Man films as Peter Parker's school and the location where he gets bit by the spider. In the article, Leterrier does say that this scene takes place at Columbia, but I'm thinking that was more of the original idea, with the studio having to change school names at the last moment, which leads us into why this scene never happened, and of course we all know why: the rights situation between Sony owning Spider-Man and Marvel Universal with The Incredible Hulk. Leterrier mentions that he wanted to call the university Empire State University in order to treat the films as coherent worlds, with the Tobey Maguire cameo being added in as a fun Easter egg for the film, but sadly no agreement was ever made to include the character within The Incredible Hulk. And what's also interesting is that he's quoted towards the end of the article saying, "Years from now you'll see Peter Parker meeting Bruce Banner," which ended up happening, so good for him calling that all the way back in 2008. Now this would have changed the MCU and Spider-Man films as we know it, depending on how Sony and Marvel's relationship turned out if this cameo ended up happening. For one, I think we would have seen Spider-Man 4 depending on if both studios were committed to keeping the continuity within the MCU, and furthermore, I think we would have seen Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man included in the Avengers 2012 film. Of course, there's a lot of what ifs, what could have happened with this scenario that I don't need to dive into, but if this did end up happening and both studios were committed to keeping the MCU continuity in check, I do think we would have seen the eventual end of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in Endgame, with Miles Morales taking over the mantle after the events of the film. So let me know what you guys thought of the video, as well as what you think would have happened if this cameo idea made it to the final cut of The Incredible Hulk. Once again, thank you all for 3,000 subscribers. I am planning 2 similar videos to this later on, with one of them being how the Amazing Spider-Man films were almost in the MCU, so make sure to subscribe if you want to be notified when those videos drop. And as always, thanks for watching, be sure to subscribe, follow my social medias, and I will see you guys again in my next video.